But with that said, I think it's also important to understand that you cannot wait for the perfect environment. The perfect environment in South Africa is almost never going to come. So you have to take some of the cogs that you already have that are working, channel as much of that strength, of that creativity that you have, and get something going. You have to step out and try. Whatever you do, you can't just sit and wait for opportunities to come to you. At some point, you do have to create your own opportunities if they're not coming. But that also means that you're then able to try something, right? And once you try, you see that you can do it. And if it doesn't work out, it means you have something to adapt and make something better with. Somebody, I don't know who, said, success is a lousy failure. So if you're sitting there hoping to be successful in some way, but you haven't failed, it's not going to really do you much good.
Collect your data, track your data, use it to harness your business. What do I mean by that? If you've got customers who've already bought products from you, it's important that you have the data collated somewhere. Now, the simplest form, because you're a one-man or two-man band, is at the end of each day, any customer who's bought any product on that day or on that week, write down their names on a piece of paper. The moment you get home, give them to your sister, your brother, give them 10 Rand, let them save those numbers on the phone, and then create a WhatsApp broadcast group, not for communication, but for redistributing information, so that when you've got specials, you're able to keep them abreast and once a month newsletter. At the end of that one particular day, then you send them a thank you email. A thank you WhatsApp. That for me is low cost, low barrier. Why? Because we understand that there's over 320 million cell phones in the country, and 80% of them are smart cell phones. So meaning that majority of customers are already on WhatsApp. They might not necessarily check their emails. So when you are able to do that, it means that you are also then not diverting yourself from the actual running of your business, right?
So by all means, when you make your own business, go study by yourself. Go study on the internet. These jobs I've gotten where they're like, oh, can you do this? Then I go, yeah, I can. Then I go home, go study, go see, oh, this is how I actually do it. But you start learning. You can learn passions you never even knew you needed, that you had. Just by like, oh, I learned this thing. So now you're in a whole new career because you never knew it even existed. And it's like, it's hustling. Hustling means like, I'm going to study on my own. I'm going to study by myself. I'm going to learn things from people that's not like bound by an institution. You're learning from people around you. So when you see people who are passionate about their life, you don't need to do what they're doing. Go do your version of what they're doing, if it makes sense.
The second thing for me in and around scaling your business is for you to then be able to do the next thing, which is any customer who has spent any amount of money from you, it's important for you to engage them, because that customer, if they've spent money on you, they were deliberate in why they were spending money on you. So it's important for you to be able to ask them two questions. Of all the people that you could have bought this from, all the different suppliers that were out there, you told us why. The second thing is, what do you think we can improve, and what other products do you think we can add? You would then start to understand that sometimes when we start a business or go into business and sell stuff, we sell things on the assumption that people need those things up until they validate them with a purchase. But because we don't really deeply know why they are buying those things, we think that because 10 people bought them, we think that they actually need that service, but they might have bought it because they are next door neighbors, but they need something else out of that service. So it's important for you to be able to harness, because now what you then find is that out of that feedback, which is the third thing, out of that feedback, you will get insights that will help you in identifying who your actual customers are. What is their age and what is their profile, and it makes selling easier to these individuals.
And the truth is that so many times it's been said that even when you are in fear, but you have a dream and you have a goal, that you should do whatever it takes to take the necessary steps to achieve that goal with your fear. So walk in your fear, walk with your fear, because it's not going to go away unless you confront it. And confronting it is not saying fear, go away, come again another day. No, confronting your fear is doing the thing that you want to do, irrespective of the doubt that you are feeling. And the only reason that you are feeling fearful is actually because it matters. And these are the moments where one needs to remind themselves, why does this thing matter again? Why am I having this dream? Why am I having this vision? Why am I having this creative impulse? What is the bigger picture for this moment? What is the bigger picture? What is at stake? And often what is at stake is actually bigger than us. It's about us, but it's bigger than us. And if you're not going to do it, someone else is going to do it. Because dreams don't sit still. Once you have visualized it, once you have written it down, once you have spoken to someone about it, once that impulse has sat with you and you've spoken it into life, if you're not going to take the steps to bring it to life, with or without your doubt, it's going to find somewhere else to land because you have spoken it into reality and someone else will manifest it with the fear, with the doubt. So why not you? There's nothing that makes you different from the next person. Why not you? Let it be you that says, I'm going to take the risk. And if anything goes wrong or doesn't go as perfectly as I want it to be, that's still fine. That is okay. The best entrepreneurs made mistakes and they learned from them.
The fourth thing, as you do this journey, I would like for you to document out of a 7-day period or 14-day period, depending on how busy you are. You need to be the one who does this measure. I need you to jot down on a piece of paper from the moment your productive day starts, whether it's 6 a.m. like me or up at 6 a.m. up until 6 p.m. in the day. Write down every single action, every single task that you work on. And then I'll simplify this. Every single thing that you do, whether it's answering the phone, whether it's giving an entrepreneur, an employee advice, whether it's responding to a customer query, whether it's directing a customer to your office and the stuff. And then at the end of that work week, start to look at that list and then ask yourself, what about that list was entrepreneurial? What about that list are tasks that I could have delegated to someone else within my team? I am a small business, and the I am is a form of declaration that I say to myself. So whenever I say I am a small business, I need to be able to dissociate the two. The one is I am a small business as a resource positioning. It is not a mental positioning. So which is why many of the years that I've spent saying that I am a small business, I forgot to tell myself that it was not me who was small. It was the resources that were small. That I am spending the time late at night watching YouTube videos, tutorials, taking Udemy courses and other courses so that I can scale myself up and learn new skills and learn new mindsets. So that if ever I get the opportunity to be in the elevator or in a boardroom, a networking event with the right decision maker, key decision maker for an organization that I've been headhunting or rather chasing after for many years, I'll be able to pitch that idea at their level, not at my scale. Sometimes we then develop that imposter syndrome purely because we look at our limited resource limitations and almost get heart palpitations against the backdrop of what the market is actually looking for. So the moment you reframe that mindset, you then start to understand, yes, those resources, yes, your resources are small, but there's a plethora of other individuals who've got bigger resources that you could collaborate with. Should you then be spending 10% of your time selling in it, 90% of your time selling in a day, and then the rest of the time you're talking to what is considered as competitors and finding ways of collaborating, should that big deal come one day, so that it's not done as a knee-jerk reaction.
We always say that we are the boss of the business, but it's the other way. The business is your boss. So always remember that. As much as you wake up early in the morning, if you are employed in a retail, and you respect all the rules that you need to, your time management, you need to be committed, you need to respect the customers, all of those things, we need to embrace it in our small businesses. You treat your business as your boss, and you need to treat your business as a source of income. A source of income, you always respect it, and you treat it with courtesy, care, and respect.